it's Lindsay Lou here again, and today I've decided I'm going to try my galaxy skulls but with white, and I'm going to use my chameleon powders, and I've got them all laid out here. I'm just going to go and pick whatever one at random, so let's get started. So as I said, I'm picking these colours at random, 2 colours for each skull, and 3 skulls each will have the same 2 colours. So I've got 12 moulds out altogether. I have loads of these little baby skull moulds because when they're really cheap in Temu, I just buy a load of them. They're at 29 pence at the moment on Temu, so I buy 10 at a time because you get, I would say, maybe 5 uses out of these little moulds if you're lucky, and then they start to wear a wee bit, so they don't last forever. If I try and take care of them, they might last a wee bit longer, but because I'm using isopropyl alcohol to spray into them, that kind of depreciates their value a little bit. So I've sped this up because it's a boring process, and that's me. I'm putting in my 2 colours in the 3 moulds, and it's quite a time-consuming task, but it's very rewarding in the end because you get some really pretty colours. And I went with chameleon powder because I'm not quite sure how ordinary mica powder looks with the white. But at some point I'll try that. I've got loads of baby skulls in the Galaxy Effect, but the resin is black, and it really does have a lovely effect on it. I've said effect twice, but I couldn't think of another word to use. But yeah, the Galaxy Effect is my favourite. It is my favourite technique. So here we have the white pigment paste that I bought off of Temu. It's a cheap alternative to your more expensive ranges. So I'm going to take a bit at the end of my stick, my wooden stick, and I'm going to give that a stir. Usually I need two little dollops of the white because it doesn't seem to go as opaque as the black. So there I've decided to put an extra, and that should do it. That should give me the consistency that I would like to put into the wee skulls. I'm quite excited to see how these turn out because my dish turned out really nice, so we'll see. So I like to give them a generous spray of the isopropyl alcohol, just really get in there and have a good spray into the powder. And then I'm going to pour in the white resin, and usually I try and get as far up to the top as I can, but I have to go back and top them up most of the time, which isn't a big deal. And then sometimes, as you'll see here, I go a wee bit overboard and we get a bit of overspill, but I just take a baby wipe and I take away the excess, and it's all good. So I'm just pouring in the last ones here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put them into my curing machine, so it'll take 2 hours for them to cure, and we'll get to see them a wee bit quicker. I'm an impatient person, so that's why I'm going to put them in the curing machine. So as usual, I've got a bit left over, so I'm going to take these 2 chameleon powders. I'm going to dust them into my slightly larger skull mould. My brush is a wee bit damp from cleaning it before, so I'm having a wee bit of trouble getting the powder onto it, but we get there eventually. So I'm using, I think it's blue and violet for this one, which are quite similar colours, so they might blend into each other. You might not be able to see the difference, but I like blue and I like purple, so I don't mind. So that's them out the curing machine now. And I did 2 little extra ones when it had spare, and I'll show you them in a minute. So I'm just going to demould these ones. I'm not going to demould all of them on camera because I struggled to get them out of the moulds, because these are actually some of my new ones. And when you have a new mould, sometimes you do have a bit of a struggle. I did actually get a wee cut in my thumb trying to pull these out, but that's just something that you have to put up with resin when you're taking them out of mould sometimes. So I'm just going to continue taking these out and we'll see what they look like. I've got them all out of the moulds now, and the lighting isn't really that great here because it's dark now, and I've got, as we say in Scotland, the big light on. The big light is just, you know, the light in the middle of the room. But for some reason, as Scots, we like to call it the big light. Got the big light on. So I'm really pleased with the way that these little skulls have turned out. I think they're just as nice as the black ones, if not nicer. And these ones are my favourite, the bluish ones. Purple is my favourite colour, but I'd say blue is my second favourite. And I really think these have turned out fantastic. I never thought of white before, you know, when I was doing the skulls. I always thought black shows up the mica powders best, especially chameleon powders, but white just does the same job, if not slightly better. I think there's more of a realistic touch to them when they're white rather than black, but they're both just as nice. I'm going to try a few more of these in white because they just have a lovely effect. I'm going to try ordinary mica powder rather than chameleon though, just to see how they turn out. Now this one looks like it's got more than 2 colours in it, and that must be the chameleon effect or something, but honestly I only did put 2 colours in it, but it does look like it's got maybe 3 or 4 colours, and it's very nice. I think that's really nice. So they turned out really well. I'm very, very pleased with them. So these are the 2 wee skulls that I used up my extra resin with. This one here, I have this kind of sparkly ink stuff that I got off of Temu, and I put it into this mould in with the white, and it's got a wee sticky bottom. So it was kind of watery when it came out, and I had to kind of wipe the water off the bottom of it, even though it was in the curing machine for 2 hours. So I'm going to have to experiment with those inks. And this one here, I just put about half of the white resin, I forgot what the word was, resin, into the mould, and then I put a couple of wee drops of green, and then I put the rest of the white in, and then I put a couple of wee drops of red, and this is the result. That was ink, alcohol ink, and it looks quite nice. So I'm going to experiment with that with the white as well, see what the alcohol inks look like. Now this big one just came out of the mould quite easily, which is a novelty for me. And it wasn't actually violet that I put in, it was grape. Not that it matters, purple's purple, I suppose. And it turned out really pretty. So I'm happy with that one too. I'll leave you now with a few pictures that I took in a better lighting, just to kind of give you an idea of the effects of the chameleon powder with the white resin. That was my 9-month-old Labrador puppy slapping her wee ears together in the background, if you heard that. She's going through her, and there she goes yawning. It's just about time for her walk, so she's starting to gurn a wee bit. So I'll leave you with these photographs, and hopefully, there she's doing it again. So I better get her out a wee walk. Her name's Bonnie, and she's going through the adolescent phase of puppyhood at the moment. So any instructions and training that I've done with her, she's choosing not to listen at the moment, which is quite typical of, you know, a teenager, if you like. But we'll get through it. She's a lovely wee thing, and she's worth all the hassle at the moment. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try to get another video out soon if Madam Bonnie will allow it. So see you, bye.